Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dinma and today's video is going to be different from the norm. This is kind of my major life updates. So if you're watching this video right now, the good news is that I'm in Canada. I just relocated to Canada. So I'll be talking about my application process, how it all started, when it all started, just from the beginning and every other thing. If this video is going to take long, I might cut it short and make it like 2 or 3 parts to this story. So if this is the kind of video you like to watch and listen, just sit down and enjoy yourself. So guys, this Canada relocation process started long time ago. Anyway, I've always desired to relocate abroad through studies. I've always desired to relocate through studies. So before I got married, I've been applying for so many scholarships. I got some scholarship. Most of the ones I got have scholarships, and the balance was still way high for me, so I couldn't proceed. So because of that, instead of just waiting and waiting, I had to enroll for my master's program here in Nigeria. I enrolled for my master's program. That was year 2017, and I finished my master's program. I defended my thesis December 2019, and my results were out by February 2020. So by 2020, actually, I met my husband. So when I met my husband, I told him I have a dream to relocate abroad. So though actually I have a desire to relocate abroad through studies, but there's a friend of mine, that told me about this program in Canada, and my cousin of recent just relocated with that same program. So I have been thinking of using that program to enter Canada. So he said, why don't I go with studies? I said, no, I just finished my master's. I've not even used my master's, and I want to go for PhD. No. So I want to go through this one. Do you buy this idea? That was what I told him, and he said, sure, I do. Let's go on. So we started the process. We did our court wedding. That was early 2021. After that, we applied for our wedding was April 2021, but we applied for our IELTS exam, like IELTS exam. That was March, to write it June. At least after our wedding April, we'll give ourselves 1 month to prepare to write the exam June. By then, I've already started evaluating my results. You know, for express entry, you evaluate your highest degree, and my highest degree was master's. My husband's highest degree was BSc, and then I was not up to 30. So I was fortunate, like I was still in my 20s. So I was like, this is going to be good, because even the friend of mine that told me about this express told me, with my age I can get this thing, I should. So my husband and I, we started doing it. So we applied for the IELTS to write it June. After our wedding, we started preparing for the IELTS. I'll call this man. Let us study this IELTS together. This IELTS, this one is your first time of writing IELTS, but I've written IELTS before. You know, those scholarships I've been applying for, IELTS, most of them IELTS is required. So I've written IELTS before, and I can tell you that just only studying anyhow, because it's English, you won't really get it. IELTS needs there's some steps, there's some tricks, there's some things they need. It's not just writing essays or speaking. So I will tell this man, don't worry, I will study in the office. In the office, when you are working and you're studying, how will you do that? When he's still claiming that stubbornness, you know, I'll bring my laptop, I'll bring it out on it. So we're listening on one weekend, one Saturday, we're watching one video about speaking. And as he watched, she said, I know this now. This is very easy now. What is there? Nothing, you know, nothing. I said, okay. And he left me. So I had to study it alone, and I started studying alone. I didn't bother about him. So I felt like maybe he's studying in his office, as he said. So after the May came, and then June for us to write the exam. My husband was the first to write the exam. His date for speaking was, I think they fixed, I don't know, they fixed his own speaking was the same day, I think with mine, the same day or something like, but his own, his exam was first before mine. So after going for the exams and he came back, he now say, that's how it is. And the speaking that they just asked him one question he wasn't expecting. I said, which question did they ask him? He said that they asked him that talk about the toy that you used during your childhood. That he was even confused that he spoke about what did he say he spoke about? No, he spoke about a bicycle. That the bicycle was a toy. He asked me, is bicycle a toy? I said, bicycle can be a toy to you. That is why I was telling you that let's all study this thing together. Anything can be a toy to you. If someone even bought you, let me say, even a plate when you were a child, you can take it as a toy. They are not even saying. I don't want to start explaining IELTS because, you know, when it comes to speaking, when they ask you that something like child, you can say somebody bought you a chair when you were a child, and that chair was so special to you. It was your toy. You valued it so much as a child. And you know, all those questions they'll ask you who bought it for you, when did they buy it, and why did you buy it, or what do you think about, you know, those things were just like, I don't know, it's like giving you idea on what to say, but it's not necessary that you have to say everything. You can even skip it and start talking. What they're looking for is your tenses. They're looking for the sentences. They're looking for correct English. Don't, you know, after writing the exam, after that day I laughed and I went to write my own exam. Our results came out and my husband did poorly, except his English, except his writing. My husband got a 8.5 in writing. You know, his writing needs to be professional with his career, so he's good at that. So I wasn't surprised, but his speaking and listening and reading was not up to the score needed for him to apply to be a principal applicant. But he can be a dependent to me. But you know, even with that dependent, the scores were very low. So I then wrote after writing I scaled through, but my reading was bad. My reading was 5.5 and I needed to score 6 points in all. Others were very good, 7, but my reading was 5.5. So it was just, it drew us back. So I told my husband, let us write again. People do write this IELTS several times. This is like our dream, our desire to relocate. My friends, my brothers, my sisters, guess what this man told me? Just guess. My husband called me and said, hey baby, I thought you said something like that one partner can go first after the other party that can come and join you. I just looked at this man. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, it's not that. That it's good that I go first. Then maybe he can come and join me, you know. I said, is it IELTS you are running from? He said, no. That, you know, this is career he's trying to build here in Nigeria. This, that. I said, okay. So I applied for another IELTS. That was after June, and I applied for another IELTS to be written August 12th. I won't forget it. August 12th, 2021. So I gave myself July, the month of July, to prepare very well, especially the reading. So I did that. I studied, and by then my West evaluation was already out, and that was it. Then I studied, and August 12th I wrote the exam. The results came out, and I scaled through. I smashed my IELTS. So then immediately I entered the pool. I entered the pool single, that is without my husband accompanying me. So then when I entered this pool, my score was four something. Was it 430 something? Yes, 430 something. That was my score in the pool. So by then, after the COVID, that was 2021, and just after the COVID, they had paused express entry and they just started. So they were just picking people. So most people they were picking was mostly CEC, that is Canadian Experience class. So, and I don't even have a Canadian experience. My husband doesn't. So we're just in the queue, and it was like no hope. So that period I was in, like, I'm a very good researcher, and my husband knows that. My husband can look for something and say, "Hi, babe, look into this," and then let me know, because he knows very well. As long as that thing is inside a book or inside internet online, me, Chidima, will find it out. I will, even if it takes me 2-3 weeks, I will find that thing out. So I started researching about it, what else to do, what to boost my scores and all that. So I joined some Telegram groups, and the Telegram groups, they were not talking about that the main or the good way to enter Canada this period is through studies, that express entry is choked and the queue and everything, that's the best way is through studies. So I called my husband and I told my husband that, see what they said. My husband said, I told you that you go through studies, but you will not listen. That is my answer for you. So I said, okay, yes, I think I want to go through studies, but I wouldn't want to continue. I wouldn't want to go for PhD, because I wouldn't want to go abroad to study English. For what now? What do you want to use English for abroad? I said, no, that's not what I want to go. And I don't want to go. Even in Nigeria, I'm not even continuing with my education pathway. I've even changed career pathway. So I wouldn't want to continue with that. So I want to go with my career pathway. So I started searching for schools, and most especially affordable schools. That was one mistake I made, but we learn through our mistakes and process. So I started searching for schools, affordable schools. I got Memorial University. I got Regina University. Memorial was way affordable then. The calculation, when I calculated it for 2 years, was like 3 million. Yeah, 2021, 2022 to study in Memorial then was 3 million. But 2022, I think they increased their fees. I think they said they did the government of Newfoundland removed some subsidy or whatever, so they increased their fee. But even the increment was nothing. It was not even anything. Highest it was like then to study was like 4.5 million naira, 5 million for 2 years. 2 years program, master's program. So I continued. I applied for the school. I know Newfoundland school. That school was so annoying. Memorial. After applying, you wait 3 months before they'll give you a response. After waiting for that long, they gave me a negative result. I didn't get the admission. So I applied for Regina, which was also way affordable for us. And okay, before I applied for Regina, I think I've forgotten the other school I applied. And all these things, application and everything, even the express entry, is not free. There's so many money involved. Anyway, after, I will make a video to say how much we spent in this relocation process, how much my husband and I spent. I'll make that video separately. So every application we made a fee. So after that, I didn't get the 2 schools. I didn't get admission in 2 schools because I was applying for masters. So then I started working. I got another job, and I started working that period. I was applying. Most times when I go to my work, I'll use my office internet and my office laptop to be applying for schools. So the last time, and because of this relocation thing, my husband and I had a plan not to make babies now. So when we get there, we'll start making babies. But when things changed and my husband said I can go alone, then later he will join me. So my husband said, why don't I take him and go in and maybe have babies there, have my baby there, with studies, and he will come, visiting and all that. So I said, okay, let's us first apply for the last one. And I researched more before I found Regina University. When I found Regina University, the requirements and everything, I have them all. I was qualified. But when you're applying for schools, having all the requirements, it's not necessary that you get the admission. So I applied for that Regina University. My statement of purpose, I wrote it. I even sent to one of a colleague that is a lecturer to go through my statement of purpose. He went through it. My husband too went through it and did the editing and everything before submitting. I was so hopeful. I was so sure of getting this admission because I put in my best and everything to it. So as we applied for that school, then we said, babe, let us take him. So by that process, we applied to go for May. That's we applied that is my admission. My school will start May, so I will resume May. I think May 2022. Yes, May 2022. So when we now planned, by then I took in that I'll be giving birth September. So definitely I'll be in Canada before my due time. So we did the do, and fortunately, or to the glory of God, I took in. I was so happy that with this admission and with everything, with our plans will go smoothly. So into the process, we got an unfortunate answer again. Unfortunately, we can't give you this admission because we collected the qualified ones and blah blah blah. I say, God, what am I going to do? Anyway, this is my dream. I won't give up. So I started searching for schools, another school again. And I started researching more, and I found out that even if you have a master's, you can still apply for postgraduate diploma. That they have what they call postgraduate diploma, they have diploma, that you can still apply for it. And most especially since I want to switch career from what I was doing before, from my education pathway, I want to switch to my career pathway. Postgraduate diploma is the best bet for me. I said, wow, okay. So immediately I started searching for affordable schools. One thing is that all these affordable schools are very, very competitive. This is one thing you need to know about. If applying for schools and you want to apply for mostly affordable schools, make sure you are overqualified. Make sure you put in your best, because the competition there is very high. But expensive schools, the competition, they're looking for students because people are running away from them because they're expensive. While the cheaper ones, people are running to them. So if they need the cheaper ones, if they need like 50 students, you see 1,000 applying. So they'll take the most qualified. Then all these expensive schools, if they're looking for 50, you've seen 20 applying. So they're looking for students. So if you really want to get admission straight away, you have to go for the expensive schools, and you will get it as long as you are qualified. But if you're looking for, let me say, the cheap one, be overqualified and be so overqualified and have added advantage to some other maybe your counterparts applying for that same program. So I started researched for 2 schools, 2 colleges, and they were all in British Columbia. So after that, I just told my husband, you know what, since this thing is not, even from looking at it now, it's no longer feasible, because this will be September, and me, I'll be already due September, and I'll be due September. It's no longer feasible for us to apply. Let us just give birth to this child here in Nigeria, then still continue with the process. My husband said, okay, no problem. So as I was saying, this process I was all going, I was not going through it alone. My younger sister was also applying to Canada, was also applying for Canada schools. So both of us were doing it together. But immediately after Memorial, she told him, my sister Chidima, I will not continue with this. I don't like this kind of long process, this kind of long Canada delay. They are too slow. Canada, everything about them is slow. I beg that she's no longer interested, that she's now going to UK. I say her, you're just giving up like that. She said yes, so that she's going to UK. So she started applying for UK schools. She applied to 3 schools, and the 3 schools gave her admission. Ha! So she came to me and told me, apply to UK. Oh. I said, no, UK is not for me. If when I was single, I think I can go to UK. But UK is not for me. Canada, the benefits in Canada for family is just too much. The easy pathway to become a permanent resident, the easy pathway to become a citizen. And aside that, if you finish your studies, you can start your career there in Canada. But in UK, you start doing care job, because they don't even want to give all these clerical jobs to immigrants. They prefer to give to themselves. So she said she's going to UK. That's how after the admission, started processing her own relocation and everything. Apply for visa. Boom, 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 boom. My sister got visa. And that was it. She was not telling me, Chidinma, come to UK. So you give birth in UK. So you give birth in UK because of the misfortune we had in my family. I lost my elder sister through childbirth. So yeah, in Nigeria, that was year 2022. So because of that fear, my younger sister wanted me to go abroad to give birth, you know. So she was saying that, I say, if I give birth in UK, what will I benefit? It's not like it's not like my child will be citizens. Nothing. So why am I stressing myself? That don't worry. Nothing will happen. God is in control. So by September, I gave birth, and after a few weeks, or just a week after I gave birth, my younger sister relocated to UK. So that was it. And immediately after I gave birth, my husband came with the story that there is this new thing happening in UK, care job. You can go through care. You can work after 5 years. You become a permanent resident. That this is a good way. This is this no longer studies. This that. I say care job, and I have not heard about this one because I have everything about UK. I don't want to hear anything about UK again. So because of what he told me, I started researching about it. Then I called my sister in UK and told her about it. She said yes, there's something like that if she had known herself, she would have come through the care than coming through studies, wasting all that money. But she wouldn't advise me because I cannot do that job. That care job, I can't do it. That job is not easy for 5 years. 5 years is not 5 months, so it's not even 2 months. So 5 years you'll be working before you become a permanent. I should not do it. I should come through study. So I went to my husband. My husband said, no, people are saying that at least the pay is good. If you see the pay to encourage you, that. So I met one of our family friend again who told me about the care job, So I was not saying, oh God. So I know to my husband, okay, no problem. My husband was not saying, that is for our own daughter. Let me tell you people. You see all these things I was doing about all this Canada relocation and everything. My husband was just reluctant. I was the one, Canada, I expressed interest, as I said earlier. I applied alone because my husband said I should go and he will come with me. He will come later. But since I gave birth to my daughter, after giving birth, my husband changed. The relocation was like do or die thing to my husband. My husband said he wanted us to relocate today or tomorrow. He said he wants the best for his daughter. He wants the daughter that will have equal opportunity with her peers. He doesn't want this Nigerian thing for his daughter. This, that. My daughter was what they call it, luck charm or lucky charm. Yeah, now my daughter was really my lucky charm because my husband woke up from his slumber. He woke up from his sleep and he was looking for. He started calling his friends that went through the care job and telling them that if you have your agent, I'm interested. So we got an agent that told us 6 million to get COS, flight tickets, and visa. Yes, visa too. So that was a good deal for us. So we said okay. But the agent said he has not gotten a slot. That once he gets a slot, he will let us. So we're waiting for him. My husband was not telling so many persons in case they have. So one other one came and said 9 million. And this 9 million only COS. Visa is not inclusive. Accommodation is not inclusive. Flight ticket is not inclusive. Just 9 million for only to give us COS. Hey! I told my husband, we can't do that. My husband said, we can sell one of our properties now. I said, no. We are not going to sell our property and then carry 9 million. Then where are we getting the one? Accommodation, everything. Where are we getting it from? Please, no, we won't do that. So I had to talk to my husband, and then we scrapped that one. We said no, we won't go for it. So we told him that, he told the agent that it was way too high for us. So we got another agent that told us 6 million, but just for COS, 6 million just for COS. But another thing is that we have to pay for health insurance. I told my husband, no, this agent is desperate. Care job, I know that if you are going through care job, you will not pay for health insurance. Health insurance for you and your family is covered, that we are not supposed to pay. So telling us to pay for this health insurance, then that means it's another thing he's doing for us. That's no. So while I was doing all this thing, I was still talking to my sister that was in UK. So my sister then told me that, so she sent, one day she sent me a video. That is a YouTube video of someone, of one lady, I don't know, I think Ada Kings, that talked about her care job, her experience, how she doesn't see her child in the morning and comes back at night, the child is sleeping, she doesn't even have time for the child. And that one wasn't even my problem. The one that was my problem is that that for 3 times, when she wakes up, she finds herself in the hospital, that she always break down when she goes to work, morning, afternoon, back to back. Sometimes she wake up and she's in the hospital seeing her son and husband beside her. It has not been easy. And another thing again, that they pay, that if they tell you that they will pay you £24,000 for a year, that at the end of it, the money will not be up to £24,000. And if you go to tell them, they will give you all the calculations, and it will soon still be the £24,000, that the salary is not always what they say. As I watched that thing, I just had to send it to immediately I forwarded the video to my husband, because I was at home, he was at his place of work. I forwarded it. He watched 3 of them and then came and called me and said, baby, do you think we'll continue this process? I've been thinking about it. Care job is not a dating, no. It's not 2 months thing, no. Do you think we can? I laughed and I said, I told you. He then said, okay, that when he comes back from work, we'll talk more about it. So he came back from work and we spoke about it. So he said, okay, what about your sister in Canada? Why don't you just talk to her? Let her send you an invite. We'll apply for a visitor's visa. Then you take in and just go give birth there. Once any of our child is a Canadian citizen, the person can also, in a way, help the siblings in a long run. Moreover, this thing we're doing is for the children. I told him, I'm not doing only this thing for my children, no. I'm doing it for myself. I love to relocate abroad. It's not only for my children. So, and I said, okay, this is a good idea. Let us just, at least we shouldn't throw this one, at this idea, we should do it. So I called my cousin and I spoke to her about it. She was willing to help, but she actually advised I should come through studies. I told her I've tried studies, but we didn't get it. So by then it was because of, I just remember that I said I would be applying for colleges. Why did I forget? But because of this care job process my husband came with, so it was like as if I just shifted the Canada own issue. And I told my husband, I beg, let us go back to that study. So immediately I went and I applied for some colleges. I did 3 and I got 2 admission for I applied for 3 colleges and I got 2. The other one I didn't even hear from them, but I got 2 and I checked, like kind of weighed the both of them, and I saw the one that is way affordable for us and that is good for us. So I continued with the process. That was how I got the admission, and then the whole story started. Canada applying for visa here and there. So, but I will be maybe my next video, because this is my video. See how long, so it will be too long, so I will just make the other video, the application process, how I applied, the documents I used, and every other thing. But this is how the process went. Immediately my daughter came, my husband changed and everything. So this video is kind of, if you've not learned anything from this my story, it's just that just keep dreaming and never give up. Like, never give up. Never give up. As long as it is your dream and your desire. So many trials, tribulations, difficulties, challenges will come, but don't give up. If I had given up, I wouldn't be here. And even when my husband was not even serious about it, I still did not give up, because it was my dream, not my husband's dream. If it were my husband's dream, you see, I would have given up, but it was my dream, what my desire, not the dream for my children, my own dream. And that was why I fought. And you can see that I started way before. I started this process of relocating abroad 2013, 14, but I still did not give up. Entered 2020 and every other thing, even the express entry wasn't working. I still did not give up. I was still working on myself. And I was doing all these things, I wasn't like staying at home not doing anything. My life was still ongoing. My contract job stopped. I got another one. Even when I gave birth, I stopped the job, all those things, and another one came. So everything, you don't stop one just for the other one to leave. No, pick them up, do them together, and before you know it, your dreams will come alive. And I'm telling you, my dreams will come alive. So from the process of this thing, I was so excited from when I got the admission and every other thing. But I was excited even applying for my visa, but at the long run, after my visa, every happiness and excitement in me died. And I'm sure you don't want to miss the story of how happy I was, and later on I wasn't happy anymore about this relocation story. I wasn't. So if you really want to know about that, join me in my next video. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned one or two things from my story. My story is that most of this relocation thing does not start just a day and the next day the person is moving. Sometimes years before they move. And something you need to know, that if it's your dream, you won't give up unless you are living on someone's dream. And you shouldn't just follow people because they are going. If I had followed my sister because she's going to UK, if I followed so many of my friends, classmates, everybody in UK, even one of my friends in UK was telling me, come to UK. If it was not even my desire, my dream, I would have just followed them, and maybe in the UK I will be regretting it. But in every other thing, I just want to give thanks to God. So I'm sure and I hope you learn one or two things from my story and then put it to practice. Thank you guys for watching. But please, if you've learned one or two things here, do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Please give it a thumbs up to help you to recommend this video for others to watch too and learn. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.